Before we get started, let me know in the chat. I mean, obviously, this is a training about how to moisturize your dry natural hair, but I also always like to hear from my attendees to know to get a full scope of, I'm sorry, what your struggle is. So if you guys could do me a favor and just drop that in the chat, let me know where you feel like you struggle the most with your hair and what have you tried so far. Since this is a smaller class, even though we only have an hour, you guys get more time with me because I don't know where other folks are at. That's, you know, whatever. Um, but drop in the chat for me, what do you feel like your hair challenges are? What it is that you feel like you're missing or what's not working, how long you've been dealing with this. Let me know in the chat. My hair is mostly gray, white with some black, low porosity, very dry styling product. Gotcha. Thanks for that, Susan. So, for you guys who do not know me, my name is. Ooh, wait, we did the where you're from. Sorry about that. My name is Gabrielle Allen, also known as Strawberry Curls. I was a natural hair blogger. Now I'm a cosmetologist. Prior to becoming a cosmetologist, I shared a lot of my hair care tips and video tutorials on my natural blog, my natural hair blog, Strawberry Cares, for like 6 years. I've been featured in Essence Online. I've worked with various publications to spread the knowledge of caring for African American hair. I am now a full time stylist as well as educator. We already went through where you're from. So, these are some clients from my 60-day Grow Your Fro Challenge. These are folks whose hair I've never personally touched. My hands have never been in their hair. They literally just listened to what I had to say and they flourished. So one says my hair was almost at 4. Today it's almost at the 6 line. Thank you, Strawberry Girls, for sponsoring this. I didn't do it to win anything. I did it to challenge myself. I'm ready for the next one. So I actually do not do this challenge anymore. Um, I'm just showing you guys, but when I did do it, these were the results. Susan, you said I'm also very concerned about my 3 granddaughters. One is type 4. Yeah, yeah. But this is another participant, how her hair grew in the 60 days. And this is another participant. So these are people who just bought the products that I told them, purchased the products that I told them to purchase. And they really committed to their hair transformation and taking my advice on what needed to be done. So why is my hair always dry? Most of the time, guys, I could tell you, and you guys can drop it in the chat for your notes. One of the biggest reasons that a lot of naturals have dry hair is because you don't clarify your hair. So clarifying shampoo will get rid of all of the product buildup from the month or I mean, in a lot of people's case, it'd be years of product buildup, right? But clarifying shampoo will help you get rid of the buildup in your hair, so that products that you do use can penetrate the hair cuticle properly. So if you're just stacking product on, you're co-washing, you're only picking up moisturizing shampoo, anything that you use isn't penetrating the hair strand because you're not clearing it. You're not. It's kind of like a clogged pore. You know, if you don't clear it and you keep stacking stuff on top of it, it'll just continue to clog up. That's just the nature of the beast. So make sure you guys are clarifying your hair. Let me know in the chat how often you guys are clarifying, if you're clarifying at all. to assume that you guys do clarifying once a month already. You're on a good track. And do I recommend Suave? Not really, but I guess something is better than nothing. Yeah. So protein matters. So moisture cannot exist without protein, and vice versa. If you don't have moisture in your hair, you won't have your protein will just make your hair feel hard. If you don't have protein, you'll find yourself constantly trying to moisturize your hair, feeling like you aren't getting anywhere. Let me know in the chat, guys, what moisturizers that you are using, and if my video goes clear, um, if you're if my video goes clear, it's because I'm trying to help these participants out that are trying to get in the room, but I'm still here. Let me know in the chat what email that you're using. I'm sorry, what email, what moisturizer you're using. Guys, if you're just getting here, please drop a 5 in the chat and your location so that I can know that you guys hear me okay. As I stated before, this training is actually only an hour. I don't know why I said 2 hours, but it's actually only an hour. So, but you guys will get a chance to ask all of your questions. So, professional products are held to a different standard because hairstylists can tell when something has changed, when the hair isn't acting right, when it's different on their client's hair. So we apply a little bit more pressure to companies because it's applicable to our livelihood. We catch a lot of things where the general consumer does, right? So just that's kind of like a heads up, guys. So your moisture and protein matter. As I said before, you can't have moisture without protein. So if you're not doing any kind of protein treatments, you're really doing yourself a disservice because your hair is in balance. You're just deep conditioning, but your hair cuticle literally has nothing to hold on to because it's not being repaired. And as adults, we abuse our hair a lot because we like to change. Like, it's important for you to have it. Let me know in the chat, guys, that just joined in. If you're clarifying your hair, what clarifying shampoo are you using or are you not using clarifying shampoo? Please drop it in the chat.
No one was home when I started.
So, as I said before, you guys came in, clarifying shampoo helps to clear the hair cuticle to allow products to penetrate your hair properly. If you're just constantly using, girl, please don't get me started on my L. If you're just using moisturizer shampoo, all you're doing is stacking product buildup on top of your hair cuticle. So that's another reason why your hair feels dry, because the products that you're using, you never basically clean the slate so that they can penetrate the hair. You should be clarifying your hair at least once a month. So we went through the moisture and the protein balance. So the health of your hair strand matters. A lot of people have kind of latched on to the porosity term because that just seems like it was right. And it's not that it's wrong, but a lot of people's hair porosity is shot. It's not in good condition. So you have to kind of correct that. I do a lot of porosity correction in the salon using Olaplex. It's a professional product. 1 and 2 can only be purchased by a licensed cosmetologist, but 3 through 8 can be purchased by anyone at JCPenney, Sephora, Ulta. I do not recommend getting it off Amazon because you're running the risk of it not being the actual product. So just if that's something that you guys are interested in getting, 1 and 2 can only be done in the salon, but 3 through 8 uh, can be purchased. Three through eight have less active ingredients than one and two, but it is a good start. So it'll basically rebuild what your hair is made of, and you put the protein and the moisture on top of it. Number three, cheap products won't cut it. I kind of went over this earlier, vaguely, but a lot of these product lines are geared towards marketing to curly girls. The ethnic section is geared towards marketing to curly girls. I did a post on my Instagram page one day where I stated that there's really no such thing as white people products. It's more so the fabric of your hair, what your hair entails, how it reacts to things, the density, the health of the strand. It's not a white black thing. Now, do we have, because there are white people who have curly hair, there are Asian people who have curly hair, you know, it is more so of a fabric thing. And I mean, obviously, I know where all of this came from because I started off in YouTube world, but cheap products usually won't cut it. They don't give adequate moisture to the hair, and usually the molecules in them aren't small enough to actually penetrate the hair cuticle sufficiently. They just really sit on top of the hair and coat it and give you the perception that it's moisturizing the hair. So if you guys have any questions, I want to make sure I'm not talking over your head because I have to get into consumer mode because I'm usually teaching hairstylists. So it's like I'm switching over. So drop a six in the chat if this is making sense to you guys. Just do me a favor and drop a six. Drop a four if you find it helpful so far. Okay. Oh, so I did also want to tell you guys that one of the product companies that I use, I see your hand, Tiffany. I'll call you up in a second. One of the product lines that I use in the salon, I actually reached out to them and asked them would they be willing to offer a discount code for people who are attending this training. And so they did. And she said for the next 48 hours on my Facebook
I'm
page.
the one who just logged in.
Oh, okay. So no, there's a brand called The Stations that I use a lot in my salon. It's a black owned company. They actually have a protein treatment and a clarifying just seeps out. It doesn't ice water thing. That's when they lost me. That's when I for you really quickly. Um, So, real quick, guys, what product line, for you guys that are just getting here, what product lines are you guys currently using in the salon? I mean, in the salon. I'm sorry, I've got to get out of hairstylist mode. At home. Yeah, Maya lost me when they came out with that rice water thing. That's when they lost me. That's when it was kind of like a red flag, like, oh, it's a money grab. Because if y'all follow me, y'all know how I feel about rice water. Because scientifically, it really can't even penetrate the hair cuticle. The molecules in it are too big. It just sits on top of it. And on top of that, guys, one thing about one thing about one thing about this. Wow, Cheryl, you just made me lose my thought. Oh my goodness, you really sent me with that one. Gosh, I lost my whole thought. Oh my god, I lost my entire thought.
Okay, so all right, somebody put up rice water. Okay, I was thinking when I saw that, I was thinking rose water. But is there any benefit to like rose water and maybe peppermint? Kind of.
So the thing about it is, okay. The thing about it is, if you have the correct products, all of the putting food and water this and all of that, it's not necessary. I can tell you that a lot of my clients, their hair flourishes, and I don't use any of that stuff in the salon, like any of it. And they don't use any of it at home. They stop using all that stuff. Like, you find something that works and you stick with it. So a lot of the trial and error and experimentation came from lack of education. Susan, I dropped the link for the products in the chat. A lot of that came from lack of education, and we were just trying to figure it out. I wasn't always a hairstylist. I came from YouTube worlds. I was one of the YouTubers putting out misinformation. But then when I became a hairstylist and I started to understand the fabric of hair, things change. So it's one of those, when you learn better, you do better type things. So if you have the correct products, all of the excess is not necessary. Does that answer your question, Kimberly? Am I saying anything?
Yeah, well, I have a unique situation. I'm growing out of sister locks.
Yeah, so it's hair is hair, right? It doesn't really change.
Right.
The only thing that would change for you is that you would need to increase your protein in your hair, because you have a line of demarcation between your hair that's loose, that's growing out, and your hair that's been the older hair. So that would be like the main thing for you. You have to strengthen that line of demarcation where your sister locks meets the new growth.
Okay, I think I got
that. It should say keratin. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm gonna show you guys. It is. This is another young lady trim that affects the moisture balance in your hair. Drop in the chat, when was the last time that you guys got your hair trimmed or cut? Let me know in the chat, because I'm about to show you guys something real quick. Look, there's no shame here either, because most of the people that come to me haven't had their hair cut, trimmed in about 3-4 years, and that is actually stopping your progression. A year ago, December 2021. Okay, so because a lot of naturals do not blow dry their hair because they're afraid of the blow dryer, you cannot see what's going on the ends of your hair. And by the time you can see it, it's too late. So this is a prime example. This isn't my client. This is another young young African-American lady who does natural hair. As you can see, do you see how thin her edges are in comparison to the rest? I mean, her ends are in comparison to the rest of her hair. That's because most of the time, most naturals wear their hair in a shrunken state. And because you wear your hair in a shrunken state, you'd never get to see your ends like this. You don't even know it's happening. You just think it's difficult to detangle your hair. You think, you have the worst hair in the world. It's because you need to get it cut or trimmed. So what happens is, this is a great example. You can see here that these thin ends are crawling up her hair strand. Well, it's not even crawling up at this point. They done ran up. They didn't listen, found a way. So you guys see that? Drop a 4 in the chat if you guys see that. And because most people wear their hair in wash and goes and puffs all the time, they never see this. When my hair is out, I literally blow dry my hair like once or twice, once a week, because I want to keep it stretched out to prevent this from happening. I'm not saying that you can't wear your wash and goes. I'm not saying that you can't wear your puffs. But what I am saying is, you need to alternate between stretched hairstyles and this if you want to see length retention and if you want that moisture put in your hair. Drop a 5 also in the chat, guys, if you find this information valuable. If you learned something tonight, because that's what I'm about, learning and imparting knowledge on you guys, so you guys can get the best experience at home, because I can't service everybody, but I can give the knowledge that you need to try to be as successful as you possibly can at home. Because I definitely look forward to hearing you guys' stories. How about, what you changed, what you implemented, how things are going for you. Definitely look forward to that. So make sure you guys are getting your hair trimmed. If it's been over a year, you need a cut. You need a cut. You need a cut. Okay? You need a cut. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you need your haircut. But you will see a drastic difference in your hair. Do we have any questions, guys? Any questions at all? You can either raise your hand or come off mute if you have a question. And I'm going to show you some other clients that was someone else's client, but I want to show you a few other clients who are new to me, who got their hair. So this was another new client. She came and got her hair cut. So you guys see all of those balls, those strands that I'm pulling at? We kind of caught hers before it got too bad. But I wanted to make sure that I got all of the dead hair gone. It moves. I mean, when you don't have a trim, your moisture fills off. Your hairstyles don't last as long. Your twist styles, nothing acts right when your hair needs to be cut or trimmed. Getting your hair strong is consistency with the correct products. Your hair can be fine. That may be what you're talking about. It can be fine. One thing you can do is get a volumizing shampoo, because usually when people say their hair is thin, if you don't have any scalp issues, it's probably just fine. This is a collection for people with fine hair that I can't type. Definitely get the protein treatment. But this platinum line is for people with finer hair. When your hair is fine, you guys want volume, you want more hair, you want body. So this platinum collection is great for that. It makes your hair strands feel thicker. Can you see that okay? Drop a 5 if you guys can see that okay. So this one right here. This is something that you want to get to add to your repertoire. And I also need to add, guys, that when you're using professional grade products, Assations, Design Essentials, Mazzani, Amita, anything that I might refer you guys to, a little goes a long way, because the ingredients are concentrated. The molecules are smaller, so you need to use less of it. I actually have a YouTube video to show how to use professional grade products. Now, in this video, I'm using Olaplex. You can use the Assation products. That's what I was saying earlier. Coily hair is not just because it says coily hair doesn't mean it's for specifically coily hair. It's a marketing ploy. So I'm going to drop this video in the chat. Make sure you guys kind of bookmark it so you'll know how to use professional products. I did a whole YouTube tutorial on the best way to use them. I can give you a recommendation for a professional multivitamin. I mean, a professional hair growth vitamin. Give me 1 second. So just make sure you got hair.
Hi.
So when was the last time you got a trim, Tiffany? Because your breakage isn't coming from a blow dryer. A trim or a haircut? I don't. The person who just has their name is iPhone. I didn't get your name, but I dropped the hair vitamin suggestion in the chat for you. Jessica, here is the link to a product line that I use in the salon that you can use. Just about everything from that line is amazing. Tiffany, when was the last? Did we lose her? We left her. We lost her. She's gone again. Does anyone else have any more questions?
Hi. I do.
Hi, who's this? Susan. Okay. Hi, Susan.
Hi. So I definitely have low porosity hair, and I went through like a health thing and, started making my hair come out and all of that. And then what came back in was, getting whiter and whiter. I'm in my early 50s, so that's kind of like a copper iron imbalance or whatever, but in thyroid issue. But I am going to try the products that you recommended here. And I'm just wondering, would these also be okay for my 3 granddaughters?
Yeah. So if you have granddaughters that have, I think you said they all have different hair, right?
Well, there's the older one has dark hair. It's got the tiny, coils, but they do hang, but her hair will shrink. And it seems to me to be very fragile. Now, I'm definitely going to do all the internal stuff. I have a whole list of things that I've researched myself for that, but she needs, I think that they need something different. I don't know if they can use the same thing, but she just has completely different hair from them. Her hair will grow, but it's just so challenged right now. And to me, it comes out easily. It breaks easily.
When was the last time she got it trimmed or cut?
She got it trimmed. They all went to the hair salon in first week of January, and she had a trim at that time. But I just think that it's all stemming from like lack of care and lack of knowing like the right thing to do. She's very tender-headed. She's always had a lot of hair. It's beautiful hair. But I just really want to get her hair back healthy and growing. And right now we're just washing it. I don't know if you're familiar with Tangles and Beyond. Just washing it, gentle to detangle, put it in some twist, and then I just put, castor oil on her scalp and right on her ends. That's it. Like it just, yeah. And then the other 2 have kind of like, you want to think about a medium brown color hair, very thick, very heavy hair, very dense, very heavy hair, not super curly like the other ones. And, I think that they both just need like, especially the middle one, needs like a good detangle and probably a protein treatment and a trim, and then just a consistent washing and moisturizing. I just want to get them all on a really good regimen so that their hair can be healthy.
So let me ask you something. Yeah. Where do you live?
Actually, I'm in Boston and they're in Chicago. So this is, yeah.
No, so I'm asking because I have a network of hairstylists. Because what you're saying, it sounds like they need to go sit down and talk to someone and have a consultation.
I believe that I didn't care for where they went before, so in Chicago. So, we just have to find someone else. I didn't really like the way she handled their hair, so I have to find someone else.
Gotcha. Hold on 1 second. So there is, I don't know if she's accepting anybody right now, but I know one stylist for sure up there that's really good. And I'm trying to think of who else is in Chicago. I know somebody in St. Louis that's really good. I don't know if they're willing to go that far.
That seems kind of far.
I have to, let me check my network.
Yep. Sure.
And send me a DM on Facebook so I won't forget, because I'll actually be traveling tonight and I'll be at a conference all week. But if you send me a DM, if I don't check it, I will make sure that it stays there so I won't forget to check my network. But I'll ask around for you to see who they can go to actually look at their hair, because even if the stylist doesn't actually do it, she could probably recommend some things for them after actually looking at their hair.
Right. Can you recommend a blow dryer? Because I know their hair stays wet too long. So I will get a blow dryer for them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does hair,
let me find it.